For this tutorial, we're working on a headband design which has this different pleated band in front. It also has this design at the back, this flower like design at the back, but it is unique because it has something looking like perforated holes on it, like laser cuts at the back of the design. And so for this design, we're going to be working with scuba fabric, but this kind of scuba fabric I'm going to be using is a bit different from the normal kind of scuba fabric. Yes, 1 yard of fabric will be enough for this tutorial. And so I have it here. This is how the scuba fabric looks like. This is one color. You can see the end looks perforated. Okay, this is how the fabric comes. It's like all this lace fabric, but this time around it is in scuba form. This is one color. This is another color with another design. So instead of stressing yourself to cut, that is make laser cut on your fabric, if you can get this in your location, this is actually much more easier and simpler. So this part is only one end of the fabric that has this unique cuts or design on it. I like to take the measurement of it. This is about 11 inches. Okay, 10.5, so let's just say 11 or 12 inches. Then this is another design. So let me take the measurement for the green one. This is 11 and a half, so let's just say between 11 and 12 inches. That is for this design. So this is how the fabric looks like. So only this edge is designed while the other end is plain, like your normal scuba fabric. Another thing I would like to add is that this is the scuba fabric, and unlike the raw silk fabric that stretches on the 36 inches part, the scuba fabric stretches on the 60 inches part. However, where this particular design is, the length, that is the longer part of the fabric of this laser cut or perforated design, is on the longer side of the fabric, which is is on the 36 inches part of the fabric, which is the non-stretchy part of the fabric. Why the stretchy part of the fabric, which is the 60 inches part, it is only about 12 inches of it that is stretchy. So when you are cutting your fabric for the design we are going to be working on, you just need 1 yard of fabric, and when you cut it out, it will be 36 by 12. Let's take it like that. Then your 36 inches is the part that is non-stretchy, while the 12 inches is the part that is stretchy. Nonetheless, we'll work with the fabric that way, with the longer length being the non-stretchy part of the fabric. So this is what we're going to be working with, and then I'll just measure out 12 inches from this edge and cut it off, because this part is going to be for the design at the back, while this plain part is going to be for the headband itself. So irrespective of whatever fabric you are using, you just measure out 12 inches and go ahead to cut it off. Then that will be for your design at the back. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back to illustrate what we're going to be doing next. So this is my fabric, and I'm done cutting it, and this is 12 inches, but this is a little too big, so I'm going to go back again. I will now divide it into 2 equal halves. Like I'm going to fold it into 2 this way, and then I'll get my scissors and cut it across the middle so that I'll have 2 pieces of it. So this is half of it after dividing it, so you get 2 pieces, and then this is what we'll be doing next. This is the fine side, that's the fine side, and it has the wrong side. I'll place fine side on fine side, take it down to my sewing machine and stitch it down. Now you want to also repeat the same thing for the second piece of fabric. So I have my fabric right here, and I'm done stitching this end. The next thing I'll be doing is I'll be making a running stitch round the fabric. So I'll start from this edge, and I'll start taking it round and round until I get to the point where I started from. initially. So this is what I'll just keep doing. So at this point I've gotten to where I started from. That's the final passing of my needle and thread. I'll go ahead to pull it up and open it up. This is the first piece of fabric, and I have the second piece of fabric here already sewn. So I'll just place one on each other this way or this way, and then go ahead to tack it down. And this is going to be staying at the back of our headband. So I'll just tack both together, I'll glue them down. This is what we're having at the back of our headband. So the back design is ready. Now coming to the headband design, we need about 6 or 7 pieces of fabric depending on how full you want it to be, and I have them all cut out. So I will state out the measurement. For the length, I'm making use of 25 inches. For the length, cut out 25 inches. So if you're using 5 pieces, 6 pieces, 7 pieces, whatever is the number of pieces you are going to be using, cut out 25 inches for the length. Then for the width, this is where the difference comes in, but with half an inch. For example, the first fabric I have is 6.5 inches, the second one is 6 inches, the third one is 5.5 inches, the fourth piece is 5 inches, the fifth piece is 4.5 inches, the sixth piece is 4 inches, the seventh piece of fabric is 3.5 inches, and then the last one is 3 inches. So in that order, from 6.5 inches you start decreasing it by half an inch until you get to 3 inches. That is the size of the width. That is why you have different pieces of fabric. So 6.5 by 25, 6 inches by 25, 5.5 by 25, 5 inches by 25, 4.5 by 25, 4 by 25, 3.5 by 25, and 3 by 25. So that is it. Now 25 inches is too large, so when we are trying to create the band, I'll be working with 22 inches for the band. Then we get there, you understand. Now in addition to those pieces of fabric, I'll have my marker. I also have my marker that I'll be using for my band. The measurement for this marker is 3 inches by 18. 3 inches for the width, 18 for the length. So this is it. Now for as many pieces of fabric that you may have cut out, take it down to your sewing machine, fold it into 2 equal halves with the fine side inside and the wrong side outside, then sew it down from one end to the other. After that, you can go ahead to turn your fabric inside out, and then I'll get so this is my piece of fabric, or rather these are my pieces of fabric all sewn and turned inside out. This is how it looks like. Now you have to search for the fabric that is 6.5 inches. That will be the biggest of all, which is this. You get your marker, and then we're going to pass this marker inside this fabric. So this will serve as the band. Ensure the sewn part is at the middle. So I'm done passing my marker inside my fabric. Go ahead to adjust and straighten it. Then as it stands this way, you can now reduce your fabric to the actual size or circumference you are working with. So I'll fold this into 2 equal halves with the fine side inside. I'll place this on my sewing machine and I'll stitch it down and then get back. So after sewing, this is how it looks like, and I'll turn to the fine side. You have it this way. So let me try to get the midpoint of my fabric. So this is how it's looking like. Meanwhile, for the other fabrics that we have, starting from the 6 inches fabric, we'll start laying them one on each other. 6 inches, 5.5 inches, 5 inches, 4.5 inches, 4 inches, then there's 3.5 inches or 3 inches. So I think I will stop at that of 4 inches and I will let the other ones be. So this is how it is. So let me leave this 4 inches fabric out first. I'm going to get my needle and thread, and I'm going to be tacking all these ones down together so that when I have to place it on my band, it will be way much easier. So that's what I'll be doing. So arrange your fabrics and then tack down together. This one does not require any special method. It's just you passing your needle and thread after arranging your fabrics. But the fabric is a bit bulky, since it's scuba, it's thick. So let me finish tacking this together as one off camera, and I'll be back for us to continue. At this point, I have my fabrics all sewn together. If you look carefully, you see that they have been sewn. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 fabrics here. I have my band. Now using gum, or if you can still tack, go ahead to use your needle and thread to tack this down to the, what they call it, to the band. So I'll fold this into two so I can get the middle. The middle should align with the middle of the band that I marked earlier, so I don't make any mistake. Then I will glue it and then take it round all the way to the back. You can glue it at the back, or better still tack it down. The same thing is applicable to the other end, so that I have it this way. Then because I use my needle and thread to tack down everything together, I don't want this to be showing. I'll use my gum to place this last loop on it too, so it will look like this. Okay, so I'll use my gum to finish up. Then as soon as I'm done with this, I'll get the design at the back, which is this, and I will use my needle and thread to tack it down to the back. So I'm going to finish all this, then I will get back. At this point, I have my band ready. You can see how neat it is. I've added the last loop. If you feel it's still too wide or still too big, remember we still have one more. You can go ahead to add on it, but I'm okay with what I have here. See how neat this is looking. I made tiny stitches at the back, while the big stitches are on this rough part, because I'll be getting my fabric and I'll be adding it at the back. So this is the last step. So I'll go back off camera to tack down this to the band, and then you can use any fabric flower accessory to embellish this middle part, or better still leave it this way. So I'm going to complete this and then get back to show us the final outlook. At this point, I would like to go ahead to illustrate another style of making the back design. Okay, so I have the first design here. This is the back part, and then I would like to illustrate another method. So I have my fabric here, and this is the design part of the fabric. I want to take the measurements, of which I'm having 11 inches. So I'll go ahead to just measure out 12 inches. I will mark this out and then use my scissors to cut it out. So this is 12 inches that I'm cutting out. Then I'll go ahead to fold my fabric into 2 equal halves, so that I have 6 inches on both sides. And then I'll cut across the middle. Now, please, before I forget, the measurement is 1 yard, which is about 86 inches. Okay, 36 inches, which is 1 yard of fabric. So now I have 2 pieces. What I will do is that I will place it fine side facing fine side, and then go ahead to stitch this down at one end. This is where I placed it fine side on each other. I have sewn it down, and I have a very long piece of fabric. This will be 36 in 2 places, which is 72. So what I'll be doing now is that I'll get my needle and thread, and I'll be making a running stitch through one end of the fabric. So from this end down to the other end, I'll just keep passing my needle and thread in and out. This is another method for the back design. So let me go off camera to complete this, and as soon as I'm done, I'll get back for us to continue. This is my work. I've made my running stitch to the end. This is how it looks like. So the next thing I will do now is to open it up, and then like place this is both ends. So I'll just like place it in form of a rose, round and round. Like I'll take it round and round in form of a rose until I get something like this. Then I can now use my needle and thread to tack it down together, and then go ahead to place it at the back of my design like this. So this is another method or another way which you can use in creating the design at the back. So this is the work for the second design. This is how, so this one looks a bit more fuller, and for the headband and the padded design on it, I used the same measurement. So if you were to ask me, I would say go with this second pattern for creating your design. So this is how it actually looks like, why this is the first one. In all, I just love how neat it is, so I don't need to cover up with any other thing. I just love how neat it is inside. So these are design, and I'll go ahead to place on my dummy head to show us the final outlook.